Hi, this is the Professional Amateur Hour coming to you with another review. This time we're talking Sabata, which is a 1969 film directed by Gianfranco Parolini and stars Lee Van Cleef, William Berger, and Ignazio Spalla. This spaghetti western is about Sabata, who's this mercenary kind of bounty hunter type of character in Texas. And after a bank gets robbed and the military loses $100,000 or something, he retrieves that money and brings it back to the military. But he finds out that the bank owners or the robber barons or whatever they're called were behind the robbery. So he goes to them and blackmails them into giving him money. And the price keeps going up. First it's 10,000, then something happens, and it's 20,000, and then something happens. And so what will happen? Will he get his money? You'll have to watch the movie and find out. All right, so what works with this spaghetti western? Well, it is a spaghetti western, so it has all the kind of those tropes. However, this one does have quite a few unique characteristics in it, and I had a lot more fun than I thought I would. It's a very fun movie, even if it's not the best, but it's still very fun. So let's talk about Sabata, played by Van Cleef. I quite like Van Cleef as an actor. I know he plays, the same role over and over again in all of these Western movies. The impossible gunfighter where every single shot is, 100% accurate. Doesn't matter if it's, 500 meters away, a kilometer away, he'll still make that shot. But what's unique about him in this one is that he has this tiny little gun as his main sidearm. It's like a four-barreled Derringer, like a really tiny gun. And so it's very interesting, very charming to see him walk around with this little tiny gun. It's really not what you expect from Western movies, where you expect them to have like either the biggest gun or just a normal pistol or like a shiny pistol. But no, he has this little tiny gun, and it's just so charming to see him do everything with it. This movie also has some great side characters. I particularly like the character of Banjo. Banjo is this war veteran who's always playing a banjo. He's more of like a bard in kind of more a fantasy movie. So he's always like playing his banjo around town for everything he sees. It's kind of comedic, but he also has like these cold, dead eyes where you wonder what he's really seen and what he's up to. He even has some like plot points where a band of, I guess, bounty hunters show up in town and he has to have a little shootout with them. And his costume is great. His costume has all these like bells and coins on it. So every time he walks, instead of having like the little clicking sound of spurs, he has this little jingle jangle sound. So, he's walking out for a showdown and it goes jingle, jangle, jingle, jangle. It's a really charming outfit for a bard. I absolutely loved it. I thought his character was very unique for this type of movie, but he also played it excellently, played it with a lot of depth as well. And it was really cool to see him. This movie also has some acrobatic characters, which is pretty unique for a Western. Normally you don't get that type of character where they're, jumping from roof to roof or cart to cart in like a unique way, like spinning and flipping and all that type of stuff. You can tell they're kind of using springboards to really launch themselves, but it's great to see, very interesting and unique for, a Western of its time. The villain is another character that I quite enjoyed. He's kind of like this land baron type of character, which is unusual for Westerns. Usually it's either another gang leader, or you're trying to get revenge, or you're trying to go up against a general and his army or something. So it's very interesting that it is like this land baron or banker or type character. And he's actually kind of scary. Like he actually makes you feel like he could kill Sabata at one point. Because he cheats and stuff, but it's definitely a very good character, and also, in my opinion, pretty unique amongst Westerns. Lastly, I think the plot is quite good as well. There's quite a few plot points. There's always something going on. They're always adding more information, more details, and even side stories too. Like the people he's blackmailing start sending assassins, so assassins start showing up, and that type of stuff that he has to deal with. And which is all pretty interesting, but there's just a lot of it, and I enjoyed every bit of it. Alright, so what doesn't work with this film? Well, this film has a soundtrack and sound effects, and I think they are pretty OTT or over the top. You know, they're trying way too hard, I think, and with the sound effects, if there's something funny, you'll hear like one of those metal spring door stoppers, where it goes like doing. It's really out of place. They use it like 4 or 5 times, and every time it's out of place. And you know that made me laugh, but it's definitely over the top with those sound effects. There are also a few plot points that I thought didn't really make sense, or at least I didn't pick up on like how they would make sense. One, like in the beginning, the bank robbers, they're all dressed as soldiers, and then Sabata meets them the next day and starts killing them. But I never really picked up on that he knew they were bank robbers, so maybe he was just like murdering the military for some reason, which didn't really make sense to me, but you know, it is what it is. And then also at the end, you know, like with all these spaghetti westerns, the guy always, you know, rides off into the sunset, but he leaves his friends behind. I thought he would take his friends. They were all like a pretty good posse, but no, he just goes off alone. And so that didn't really work for me either. But other than that, like all the plot points I thought were pretty interesting. Whether or not they, you know, made perfect sense didn't really matter to me. So who is this movie for exactly? Well, I would say if you like westerns or if you like action movie, definitely check it out. When it comes down to it, it's really just a fun movie. So if you're looking for fun, definitely turn this on and enjoy. As for a rating, I'm going to give it a 6. It's certainly not the best western movie I've ever seen, but it is one of the funner ones for sure. You'll have a blast watching it. But that's it from me. So leave us a comment telling us if you like westerns. If you want to see us do more westerns, I can certainly do that. Just let us know. Having said that, that's it from me, and I'll see you next time.